Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Well, today's piece, I wanted to have a quick discussion, and obviously I titled the video "Lessons in Insanity: The End of the British Monarchy." The end of the British monarchy. Well, it's coming. It's probably coming a lot quicker than people really realize. And for the monarchy itself, King Charles, the Prince William, they are actually ushering themselves out the door. And I'm not even sure they understand that they're doing that. They may not. It's difficult to say. But I want to read you a article that came out in the Associated Press, the AP, and it's titled "King Charles III applauds people who stood against racism during recent unrest in the United Kingdom." London AP. King Charles III applauded people who took to the streets of British towns and cities earlier this week to help blunt days of unrest fueled by far-right activists. They always say that, right? It's always far-right activists. Do you ever hear far-left? No, never hear that, do you? Far-right activists and misinformation about a stabbing attack that killed 3 girls. Charles on Friday held telephone audiences with Prime Minister Keir Starmer, Rodney, and law enforcement officials, during which he offered heartfelt thanks to police and other emergency workers for their efforts to restore order and help those affected by the violence, Buckingham Palace said in a statement. The king shared how he had been greatly encouraged by the many examples of community spirit that had countered the aggression and criminality from a few with the compassion and resilience of the many, the palace said. It remains His Majesty's hope that shared values of mutual respect and understanding will continue to strengthen and unite the nation. Right. Thousands of anti-racism campaigners. You notice that? How they say that? Thousands of anti-racism campaigners. So instead of saying far-left Marxists that have taken to the street, they call them anti-racism campaigners, turned out in communities throughout Britain to counter any resurgence of violence on Saturday. Police remained on alert for further unrest after the nation was convulsed by rioting for more than a week as crowds spouting anti-immigrant and Islamic-phobic slogans attacked mosques, looted shops, and clashed with police. The disturbances have been fueled by right-wing activists using social media to spread misinformation. Right. About the July 29th night attack, in which 3 girls between the ages of 6 and 9 were killed during a Taylor Swift-themed dance event in Southport, a seaside town north of Liverpool. Police detained a 17-year-old suspect. Rumors later debunked quickly circulated on social media that the suspect was an asylum seeker or a Muslim immigrant. On Saturday, the family of one of the Southport victims, B.B. King, 6, thanked their community, friends, and even strangers who had offered the family solace in their grief. The outpouring of love and support from our community and beyond has been a source of incredible comfort during this unimaginable difficult time, they wrote. From the pink lights illuminating Sefton and Liverpool to the pink boughs, flowers, and balloons, cards, and candles left in their memory, we have been overwhelmed by the kindness and compassion shown to our family. The unrest has largely dissipated since Wednesday night, when a wave of unexpected far-right demonstrations failed to materialize after thousands of peaceful protests flocked to locations around the UK to show their support for immigrants and asylum seekers. Police had prepared for confrontations at more than 100 locations after right-wing groups circulated lists of potential targets on social media. While anti-racism groups, right, these aren't far leftists, they're anti-racism groups, planned a counter-protest in response. In most places, they reclaimed the streets with nothing to oppose. Starmer has insisted the police will remain on high alert this weekend, which marks the beginning of the professional soccer season. Authorities have been studying whether there is a link between rioters and groups of football hooligans known to incite trouble at soccer matches. My message to the police and all those that are charged with responding to disorder is maintaining that high alert, Starmer said on Friday while visiting Special Operations Room of London's Metropolitan Police Service. The National Police Chiefs Council said some 741 people had been arrested in connection with violence, including 304 had been charged with criminal offenses. Courts around the country have already begun hearing the cases of those charged in relation to the unrest. Now look, what King Charles III, what he is doing is very similar to what we see in terms of the queers for Palestine, right? So when you see these queers and transvestites and homosexuals for against Islamophobia in Palestine, do they not understand what happens when the Islamists take over? Do you think that queers and transvestites and homosexuals for Palestine will exist after an Islamist takeover? Think about that for a second. This is the same thing that Charles is doing. Charles is coddling the very people, the very far leftists that will remove him from power. I'm guessing the monarchy in England may have one more generation after Charles. One more generation. I think you'll see William, and then at some point during the reign of William and or towards the end of the reign of William, you will see a change in England, a radical change that will eventually eliminate the monarchy. So again, Charles is essentially getting in bed with the group that is eventually going to remove him as the monarch of England and the United Kingdom and whatever all his titles are. So there you have it. Think about that for a second. Chew on that for a little bit. Have a good day.